The depth of water in the harbour is 9 metres high at high tide and 1 metre at low tide, which occurs 4 hours later. The graph shows how the depth changes with time over the 24 hours. So we've got a graph here, and this is like 0 hours, this is 24 hours. This is high tide. After 2 hours it's 9 metres, and then 4 hours later it's going to be 1 metre. Find the equation of the water in metres in terms of time of hours in the form of h of t is equal to a cos brackets b x brackets x minus c close brackets plus d. A ship can enter the harbour when the depth of water is 7 metres or more. Find the second time in the 24-hour period that the ship can enter the harbour. Give your answer in hours and minutes, correct to the nearest minutes. So first of all, we're going to find we're going to do it in this order: A, D, B, and then C, in that order. Right, so there's the graph representing. This is the format that we want to do. Always a good idea if you can move up the axis and put the axis on the central point, which is at 5. The A is the amplitude. Now you can always get the amplitude by finding the halfway between the difference between the y coordinates of the maximum and minimum of the graph. So that'll be 9 minus 1 over 2, which is equal to 4. The amplitude is represented by that. D is the vertical translation, so we can see this has been shifted up 5 units, so D is 5. And the period is equal to 2 pi over b. So the period, this graph will repeat itself after this point here, which is when it is equal to 8. So the period is equal to 8. So 8 is equal to 2 pi over b, which gives that b is 2 pi over 8, which is equal to pi over 4. So h of t, we've got h of t is 4 cos brackets pi by 4 times all of x minus c plus 5. So the hard one now is to find c. So we know that h of 2 is 9, so we can either use this point or this point. So solving the equation at that point, 4 cos brackets pi by 4 x minus c plus 5 is equal to 9. So taking 5 from both sides, we're just going to get 4 cos pi by 4 x minus c is equal to 4, and then dividing through by 4, we get that cos pi x minus c is equal to 1. Now cos to the minus 1 of 1 is 0, 2 pi, etc. So consider the case when it is equal to 0. We want to know when this is equal to 0. We want this angle to be equal to 0 in order to give my answer of 9. So in order to do that, we need to put x into this equation. So this happens when x is equal to 2. So we're going to have pi by 4 means nothing. We want x minus c is equal to 0. So it happens when x is equal to 2. That was because we took the point when up to 9. So 2 minus c is equal to 0 gives that c is equal to 2. So we now have our equation. H of t is equal to 4 cos brackets pi by 4 brackets x minus 2 plus 5. So going to my GDC, I want to know when I need to now find when I can enter the harbour when we get 7 metres or more. So going to my GDC and selecting a graphing mode. Best to set up the axis before, so menu, for window zoom, window settings, and set that to -1. Set this one to set the maximum to 24. We put -1, so it gives us a little bit of the y-axis, and the same here for the this will give me a little bit of the x-axis. Put that to -1, and in the original graph we're not to 12, so we've got a big clue there for the view window should be. So entering in the graph, we've got 4 trig cos of pi divided by 4 times brackets x minus 2, and then go out of the brackets and add 5, press enter, and we get the graph that we want. This is a good chance for you to check the graph if that's 2, 9, because that's the point that the actual graph that we were trying to find. Now we need to put on the other graph, so command control G gives us the line there. We want 7, and we're only interested in the second period, which is this period here. We're not interested in the first period. So to analyze the graph menu, analyze the graph, intersection, we go to the left, we go to the right. Now you interpret 8.667 as 8 2/3. You should be able to recognize that. So it's 840, 2/3 of 1 hour. And analyze the graph again, intersection, find the second bit there. That's 11 1/3. Okay, so it's 1120. So you should be able to do that without doing any further calculations. So on our exam script, there's a screenshot. We should draw the graph. I cheated a little bit here because I've already drawn the graph. So this is the equation of the graph. Mark on the h of t is equal to 7. We were interested in the second period, which was here, which gave me 8.667 hours and 11.33 hours. So we're going to recognize this is 840, 2/3 of 1 hour is 40 minutes. And recognize this for 33 is 1/3 of an hour, which is 20 minutes, so it's 1120. So the second time is 04 t being between 0840 and 1120.